Look, I think the challenges that are confronting us, and certainly confronted us at the invasion, were there. They may have been simmering at times under the surface, and at times they weren't. I wish that there was a little bit more muscularity exercised in 2004 when this happened to Georgia. I wish there was a little more muscularity exercised when it happened to Crimea. Mr. Putin's very clear on what he wants to do. I mean, he was signaling messaging on Ukraine for many, many, many months. And if you look at some of his speeches, he's now talking about other countries. And probably not, unlikely a full-on invasion, but he is talking about a country or two in the Baltics, and he's talking about Moldova. Now, if you look at the Balkans, and 2 years ago I appeared on this stage, and I thought I said something provocative. We as the West have failed the Balkans. We have promised them rapid ascension to the EU and NATO. We've promised them Western investment. We've promised them solidarity, and we've overpromised and underdelivered. And people pay attention. So as a lot of times it's a resource issue and it's a support issue, we have to be true to our word that we're going to show up, get on the playing field. No one prefers anyone other than being in a transatlantic relationship. No one prefers aligning themselves with the PRC or Russia. They prefer to be with the United States and Europe, which are democratic in nature. But we have to show up, and we have to show solidarity, and we have to show support, and we have to be muscular. These challenges can solve themselves. It's logistics. The Admiral will talk about Eisenhower's great quote, "On wars are fought about logistics." We're going to have to be more muscular with our Wales Pledge. Prior to the invasion, I think a handful of countries complied with the 2014 Wales Pledge. Greece, I will tell you, for the last 3-4 years has been between 3 and 4%, not 2%, and 45 to 52% on weapons systems, not 20%. I think we're up to 22 nations now. And I agree, we have to all up it, because nations that seek to change borders by force only understand one thing: strength and deterrence. And I don't want to go backwards, and I don't want to be a Monday morning quarterback, but a little bit more deterrence, especially in missile defense, probably would have been more helpful. We need to be more proactive, not reactive, because this is not only about Ukraine. This is a message to every autocrat out there who has similar designs, and they want to see, is this a war of attrition? Are they just going to wait us out? Are we going to abandon the Ukrainians? We talk about democracy and how important it is and how all freedoms and rights spring from democracy. But the only ones who are dying for democracy right now are the Ukrainian people. And the least we can do is support them. And I'm glad to see it looks like everyone has finally gotten on board to do so. The Admiral quotes Themistocles and why they were fighting in the Battle of Salamis. They were fighting for their mothers and their fathers and their wives and their daughters and their children and their sisters. And this is exactly what is happening in Ukraine. And we are honor-bound to support them, because it's so much more than Ukraine. It's about the world in which we want to live in. Very practically, I come from the business community. This is going to be about logistics. We have to make real the vertical corridor. And it's more than just electricity and nat gas and LNG, where Greece is now redrawing the energy map in Southern Europe, Alexandroupoli, Rebethusa, IGB. We need all connectivity, data center connectivity. We need to continue to support Alexandroupoli in that we move 12,000 pieces of NATO military equipment. We need to have commercial connectivity through Greek ports into the Black Sea. This is where Bulgaria and Romania are incredibly helpful. We need to utilize the storage capability that exists in Ukraine. Gazprom is not going to extend that contract, and the Ukrainians aren't either. We need to figure out how we're going to keep the lights on in Ukraine. That's going to come through Greece. It should come through Greece. But connecting railroads, connecting roads, border crossings, logistics, trades, grain silos, commercial logistics, data center connectivity, as well as energy and electricity, and decarbonizing at the same time, it creates prosperity, which creates stability, which creates peace. We need to continue to press upon all of these things, because the underpinning of a strong military and a strong deterrence is strong economies.